Hello, and thank you for choosing Anxious at Bedtime.
Thank you for joining us. We are your co-host. My name is Monica.
I'm Cash.
I'm Nova.
You have any anxious news?
Kind of not really, but I did just see a bunch of TikToks about like UFOs being seen through three different states last night.
Oh yeah, there's been a grip of sightings of the
Ooh,
UFOs.
Yeah. I haven't looked into it very much at all, but I thought it was very interesting. They're saying it was a satellite that fell apart. But a lot of people caught some weird stuff on their doorbells and cameras.
Yeah, but there's like 800,000 other sightings of UFOs around the. That's not a fucking direct quote of actual numbers, but there's a lot of them in the last like couple months, honestly.
Huh.
Everywhere people seeing UFOs recording strange sightings in the skyline. It's crazy. So, maybe it is.
Maybe something we'll keep an eye on.
definitely gonna look into that later.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to look into it more too, because I saw just the beginning of a few videos because I don't remember what I was doing, but I was distracted. But
Probably
it
playing Animal Crossing.
probably, but it was definitely interesting.
I didn't see any.
I sent you one, I thought.
No, I mean I didn't see any UFOs. I saw videos, but
Oh
I
yeah, I
didn't see
didn't either.
nothing cool.
I didn't either. It is kind of weird that not all of them, obviously, UFO sightings have been going on for centuries, but that there's a boom of UFO sightings in the same year that there's been a boom of Northern Lights, like Northern Lights
Oh
being seen
yeah.
all over. I
When they're talking
wonder.
about the electromagnetic fields,
Yeah.
yeah, being high electromagnetic waves going on around, and then all of a sudden, all these maybe it is a fucking dome, and we're seeing glitches in the panel. That's what it is.
Or
Ooh.
maybe it's just aliens wanting to come and witness the light show.
Either way, man, maybe the government's like, shit, we're running out of lumens. You got to go replace that panel before they notice. Then at night, it's just tss, 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 those little flickers, like the Christmas bulbs. You got one burning out and you got to, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
I'm not saying I believe in any of those things. I'm not saying I don't. All of it's fun.
It is. I don't think I have anything else. Do either of you?
I don't think I do either.
Okay, today's a Nova episode, so Nova, take it away.
This week's episode is dedicated to our lovely mother. It's a topic she holds dear to her heart.
Hold on, we're going to pause right there. Their lovely mother, my mother in law. Yeah. Let's define it.
Small but important clarification.
Very important detail.
Yeah, I'm sorry in advance, Mama. We love you. We will be talking about creepy clowns,
I'm so excited.
but you should make the title a mystery so Mom doesn't know what she's getting into.
I'll just title it for Martha.
There we go.
Mystery from outer space. Dude, what if all these UFOs really are clowns?
That'd be wild.
They're like, hey, heard you guys are into our movies again. Killer clowns from outer space. What's up, dog?
Now, there's a lot of creepy clowns out there in the world. Some real, most fake, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But real quick, let's talk about what makes clowns so scary. The top reason is the whole uncanny valley thing. Clowns have very exaggerated makeup and features, which can make them seem human-like, yet still slightly off, causing unsettling feelings towards them. Other reasons are unpredictability, hidden emotions, negative portrayals, such as in horror movies, transgressive behavior, or even having coulrophobia, which is the fear of clowns.
What was that?
I
Hold
turned my
on.
paper.
No, it was like
You
a
did what?
Wow, you guys sounded robotic.
Hey, give us just a second. Yeah, so our
the thing we record on.
our Zoom H6, it usually is at like 44.1 kilohertz somewhere in there, and it spiked up to like 48, made a weird sound, and then spiked up to like 56 kilohertz and dropped back to 48. And then we sounded like aliens, which is fucking weird when we're talking about aliens in outer space and whatnot.
That is
And
weird.
electromagnetic fields, and all of a sudden it's messing with my electronics, dog.
Yeah.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, that's super strange. The things that also make clowns clowns is also what makes them so creepy to so many people, which I think is kind of funny. Like being mischievous and unpredictable, their makeup, hiding their true facial expressions, which makes it hard reading their emotions. All of these can cause uneasy feelings in people. An estimate concluded by some experts state at least 1 in 10 adults have a fear of clowns. In 2022, a survey was done on 987 adults from 64 different countries, and 53.5% stated some degree of having a fear of clowns, and 5% said they had an extreme fear of
Oh,
them.
wow.
They didn't ask me. I ain't scared of no clown.
I'm definitely one of them. I'm not necessarily like super duper terrified of them, but they do creep me out. But I also like being creeped out, so
I used to be deathly afraid of clowns, but I feel like since I went as a clown for Halloween, I've been a little bit less scared, and I've been doing a lot of clown makeup on myself. So I think maybe that has helped.
that's valid.
But I also haven't seen a clown in person in a while. So I don't know.
That's also valid,
But yeah, that's a much higher number than I was expecting.
right?
Yeah, that's way fucking higher than I thought too.
Yeah. So Mom, you're not alone.
Yeah, you're really not.
Oh, we should clarify for other listeners. Our dear sweet mother, bless her heart, has
She's scared of clowns. She's fucking
absolutely
petrified.
terrified.
What's the phobia called?
Clown phobia.
I don't think it's clown phobia.
She just said it.
Colorophobia.
Yeah, carophobia, whatever the hell she said.
But would now be a good time to tell Mom the thing we did a few years ago?
What thing?
So once upon a time, we found I don't know, like a porcelain clown at a thrift store, and somehow, I don't know how it happened, it fucking wound up on your mom's porch. I don't know. I think there was some beer with it because we were like trying to be nice at the same time and sweet.
We made an offering.
An offering for friendship, It had a fucking sweet note, I think.
I don't think we included a note.
Oh, we should have. Anyways, that clown got fucking wasted. Not like drunk, but thrown away with the beer.
Mom made a whole Facebook post asking, "Who left this on my doorstep?" And of course, nobody fessed up.
At the time, I was entirely way too entertained by it to say something. I wanted to see if anybody was like me or if anybody else was like, shit, that happened to me last weekend. And I'll be like, bullshit. Or I get in the comments and be like, who else? Who did this to them? I want to be friends.
And then we moved and kind of forgot about it until you just brought up clowns. But hi, Mom.
I think about it daily.
That's so funny.
It had us laughing so
She's
bad.
gonna listen to this and oh my god.
What? She probably doesn't even remember.
No, she remembers.
She wakes up every morning and the first thing she does is checks the doorstep to see if there's a clown out there.
That's the reason she got the Ring camera. She's like, let me find out who's fucking putting these clowns here. Let me find out these things are just showing up magically, dude. I'm moving. It hasn't happened in a while, has it, Martha?
We did it like a whole special ops thing and everything. Like we didn't even park. We stopped in the middle of the road for a second and Cash got out of the car and sprinted to the front door and dropped it off and sprinted back to the car and we drove off so fast.
I got the feet of Jesus. I was out of there so fast.
I think I still have that video somewhere.
That's so fucking amazing.
It was good times.
Yeah, it was fun. But anyway, sorry for that sidetrack.
No, that's good. I love that. That was so fucking funny. Going way back in history too, with jesters that worked for kings, even they could be considered scary in a way, though different from how we like view scary clowns today.
Yeah.
A king's reputation could thrive or dive based on his jester.
What?
Yeah, right? I know, I didn't know any of this. The jesters were the only people who could playfully, but also seriously, basically roast a king's flaws, and it mattered how the king handled the feedback. If he had the jester killed or anything like that, it showed poor leadership and could have the king removed from the throne. Another thing about jesters, right? Isn't that crazy?
How people saw him depended on how he treated his jester. If he had him killed, they're like, maybe he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the jester's trying to make him laugh by like making satire and making fun of him a little bit, and he's like, fuck this guy. And like, he has no humility. Fuck that leader. He's not a leader.
No, I agree with that.
Mhm.
But
Dirty
the
cocksucker, get
example,
a son.
but the example was if he kills him, like maybe he's not such a good guy.
Yeah.
Duh.
No, because he had a lot of other people killed, and they're like, that's pretty cool, man. Just make sure it's not me, please.
Oh goodness.
But the guy that makes you laugh, dude, that's a fucking dick move. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I seriously thought that like jesters were only invented just for like funsies. But no, it was
Yeah, me
literally to
too.
like keep a king's reputation on track. And like if there were any sort of like problems with like how he was handling things or like just like stuff like that, and the jester brought it up as a joke, how the king handled it was like extremely important. Like if he changed something about it, then like he'd be marked a good king. If he didn't change shit and just got mad at the jester, that's bad leadership and he could be removed.
See the satire.
That's wild.
I'm telling you, man,
Right?
satire wasn't just to laugh at.
So you could tell the jester to be like, hey, joke about how expensive groceries are.
Probably, basically, honestly.
That would have been a good gesture, dude.
Yeah, you would have.
Jester, not gesture.
Yeah, not gesture.
Another thing about jesters, too, I also didn't know this, but the rubber chicken that we know and giggle about today, you know, the rubber chicken toy, you squeeze it, it honks. That was inspired by the less than silly things jesters and other clowns used to use, which was dead animals or inflated pig bladders on a stick. Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah,
Well,
ew.
they didn't have
Right?
modern factories to
I
make this
know.
shit. Come on.
But he could have used anything else.
They didn't have anything else. They didn't have plastic and rubber back then. The fuck?
He could have filled his shirt with dirt instead of inflating a pig bladder.
Pig bladder, they used to use those for fucking balloons, dude.
That's
You
icky.
don't even want to hear
Right?
about the medical shit back then, dude.
Mm-mm. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
those times were wild. Now let's talk about some famous real clowns before we get into the super creepy fictional ones. Let's start with Grimaldi. In the early 1800s, Joseph Grimaldi, stage name Joey, made history. He's considered the father of modern clowning and was reportedly the first clown to do the iconic white face paint and large red lips and colorful crazy clothes. He kind of had like a little bit of a sad story, though I can't lie.
Yeah.
I was reading a little bit about him, and he had this like abusive, drunken father, and sometimes like they would perform together, and on stage, his father would literally like beat him, and people would just think it was part of the act, and so everyone would laugh, and then Grimaldi would go
Oh my
backstage to like
gosh.
get right, like he'd go backstage to gather himself back up, and but he always came back out for the next act. It was so sad.
It is sad.
Right? And then later on in his life, he eventually started getting like really sad and like kind of depressed. And he did kind of start becoming a sad clown, but he wasn't putting that into his makeup or anything, so that's why he's not considered the first sad clown.
Mm.
But there was this one part that I read on him. He went to therapy and was kind of just like telling the therapist, like, I'm really sad and I don't know what to do about it. And the therapist was like, oh, you should go see Grimaldi. Like, he always cheers me up. And he's like, see, that's the
Oh,
problem. That's me.
yeah.
And speaking of Grimaldi's, you can put this in anywhere. But speaking of Grimaldi's cheering people up, or Grimaldi's at all, they got a delicious fucking pizza place called Grimaldi's that always cheered me up when I ate there too. It's over in Sparks, Reno, you know that area, fucking Nevada. That shit, Grimaldi's pizza, that shit was delicious, dog. Shout out,
Nice.
hashtag sponsor me.
Okay. Gosh, so the whole like comedians are the people that struggle the most with their mental health thing has gone back for a really long time.
Yeah. And this was like early 1800s. This next guy, known as the King of Clowns, was a Swiss acrobat that went by the name Gurok. And his real name was Charles Adrian Weddock, or Weddock, I'm sorry. He began performing in 1903. He wasn't wild about the circus setting, so he opted for music halls.
Mm,
More performers started following his lead. He was also a musician, so he'd use musical instruments in his act too,
that's cool.
That's pretty dope.
right? This next one. As a sad boy at heart, Emmett Kelly is personally one of my favorites. Wary Willie, his character's name, went against the happy clown trend and started the sad clown trend. But he's the one that, like, you know, just the sad clown fake face makeup, wearing the stereotypical like rag clothes.
Yeah, the train yard clown.
Yeah, exactly, that guy. Now, there are more of these harmless clowns, such as Ronald McDonald and Krusty the Clown, even though they're fictional. But let's get into the more menacing, creepy clowns. I'm sure we're all familiar with Gacy. I'm going to keep his segment short because, frankly, he doesn't deserve much recognition.
Oh, thank God.
With 33, with 33 plus victims, all boys and young men, he truly was a monster. He performed as Pogo the Clown at charity events and birthday parties. He once even claimed a chilling statement, clowns can get away with murder. But ironically, and rightfully, he was convicted in 1980 and executed 14 years later in 1994 by lethal injection. Now, real quick, I'd like to honor the names of the boys because, in my opinion, they deserve a lot more recognition than he does.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay if I list all their names?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay, cool. Timothy McCoy, John Butkovich, Gerald Sampson, Randall Reffett, Sam Stapleton, Michael Bonin, William Carroll, James Hackinson, Rick Johnston, Kenneth Parker, Michael Marino, William Bundy, Gregory Gottsick, John Syke, John Prestige, Matthew Bowman, Robert Gilroy, John Mowry, Russell Nelson, Robert Winch, Tommy Bowling, David Telsma, William Kindred, Timothy O'Rourke, Frank Landingen, James Mazara, and Robert Peast. 6 of the boys remain unidentified, and there could be more that haven't been found. You boys deserved better, and you will never be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Despite what a lot of people think, he wasn't the one that started scary clowns. There were some old scary clown movies, and even Joker in comics, that existed way before any of his crimes. I'm sorry for yet another heavy segment done by yours truly, but I believe that they really deserve the recognition.
No, they really do.
For sure.
And that's something that was kind of pissing me off when I was doing the research was that on a bunch of different things they were saying that yeah, he's this horrible person, but he started this whole genre, so we kind of owe him thanks. There
Mm-mm.
were so many clown movies way before he did anything like that.
Yeah.
And even the Joker in the comics, wasn't that shit around 1940s or something like that? I could be wrong and going a little bit too far, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a mathematician.
but it was just way before he did any of that shit either way. So it's like he does not deserve that title at all.
All I know is even if he was the one that started it, we don't owe him anything. The world would have been just fine without scary clowns.
Exactly.
They would have had scary clowns regardless, just not something that was a real in life scary clown that did some horrible shit.
I think so too.
It'd have been just fine without that.
hmm Moving on, let's start talking about well-known fictional creepy clowns. One of the most famous movies that really kicked off the killer clown movie genre is the 1988 Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Low budget and comedically scary, the 3 Chiodo brothers that made the movie also kind of made history. One day, Stephen Chiodo was trying to imagine the most frightening scenario he could, and when he did, it involved a clown. He said, "It was a clown driving next to me on a mountain road. A clown being where it shouldn't was frightening, eerie, and creepy. That started the brainstorming that led to the killer clowns from outer space." They also thought that the idea that something friendly and beloved, something supposed to bring laughter and joy, is out to kill you was just straight up funny.
Funny.
Yeah, yeah, they were intentionally going for funny but scary.
Huh.
Then they found out that lots of people are actually scared of, or at least uncomfortable around clowns. One of the brothers, Edward, said, "Similar to how kids don't like Santa Claus, something about adults forcing things on you like that make you extremely uncomfortable. We aren't into human beings being responsible for the death of others, but a monster can do anything." So we had fun with that notion. And indeed they did. It's been a while since I've personally seen the movie, but I remember it being super cheesy, of course, with classic horror movie themes. With the budget they had, they honestly did a great job, especially building on the simple idea they had.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn good movie.
I absolutely love it,
Yeah,
and we watch it every fucking Halloween.
hell yeah. I need to watch it this year too.
And if you yourself have not seen it yet, it is currently available to stream right now on Amazon Prime and Freevee for free.
Ooh, hell yeah.
At least
Pitter
according
patter, let's get at her.
according to Google.
And it's so cool too. The design for like the clothing and the clown planet that they designed. They used inspiration from, I don't remember the name of the business, but it was basically this like furniture business that kind of made like the iconic 90s vibes with the abstract patterns and colors and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of like used some of that and helped them like make all the costumes and stuff. I thought that was so cool.
That is cool.
Next up is the very well-known iconic Pennywise. Born from Stephen King's novel It from 1986, then animated to life through the 1990 TV miniseries, then remade years later in 2017 and 2019, Pennywise is this demonic shape-shifting clown that feeds on children. King's inspiration stemmed from his own fear of clowns, a mix of with real-life murders and a bizarre encounter he had with a creepy Ronald McDonald lookalike. I remember growing up watching it on a VHS tape, being completely scared shitless.
Yeah,
It was my little sister's favorite movie from the time she was like 2 till she was like 14. Like, swear to God.
that's wild.
Yeah. Back in the day when my mom and sister used to walk me to school, like when I think I was in like kindergarten, first grade, something like that. Uh, it was always rainy down in the Valley of Cali. So as we were walking, storm drains and the gutters and shit, my mom would always be like, "Come down here. Everything floats down here." And my little sister was giddy as shit. She was so excited. Like she used to love that.
That's insane.
Weird kid, I'm saying.
I might not have grown up with a fear of clowns if it weren't for that, but at the same time, I also loved it. I was a very I love all things creepy kind of kid, even if it traumatized the fuck out of me.
That's fair.
Do you remember how many times I'd always watch all these different VHS scary movies over and over?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And the movie did give me more incentive to avoid strangers too, no matter what. So I guess some good came out of it.
That's fair.
And I remember too, for so long, every time I heard For Elise or like even just like reference the song, I always called it the creepy piano song from It.
Yeah.
I associated that song with the movie more than the actual theme song for it. I honestly didn't really put two and two together that the movie has a theme song.
I don't think I realized that either. I thought that was the theme song.
Right? Me too.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about it.
Yeah. But I remember I used to have this jewelry box. I don't even remember what the jewelry box looked like, but it played that song and it would scare the crap out of me. I couldn't turn it on and play it at all because it just reminded me of that movie.
That's so valid.
Yeah.
Also, after watching that movie, I was terrified of street sewers. I used to walk around town a lot with my mom, and I remember trying my best to avoid them, scared as fuck to get too close, or Pennywise would pull me down and eat me.
Hmm.
Manhole covers were safe though. I associated those with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember there was this one time I was like really, really little, and I was walking around with mom, and there was a manhole cover that had like steam coming out of it, and I was like, "Look, mom, the turtles are making pizza down there." Yeah, she teased me about that one for a while.
That's cute.
We also have more Pennywise to look forward to, as a prequel series with Bill Skarsgård is coming out in 2025.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. I personally am very excited to see what they do with it, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me either. I didn't know about it till 3 seconds ago,
I
but
guess we'll have to wait though. Haha.
Right. Now let's talk about another one of the world's favorite deranged killer clowns, the Joker. His official origin is a bit of a debate, which I kind of think is awesome. However, it has been mostly agreed on that the majority of his character was inspired by not only the looks of it, but also the performance of an almost forgotten Germany movie star named Conrad Veidt, who starred in a film adaptation in 1928 of Victor Hugo's The Man Who Laughs.
I didn't know that.
Right? Ditto. After his birth, so to speak, the Joker has made his way through many comics to the big screen in many shows and movies over the years since. His legacy continues as yet another Joker movie was released just this year, earlier this month. I haven't seen it yet, but I really, really want to. I love Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, plus Lady Gaga herself is playing Harley Quinn, so it's bound to be good in my opinion. The Joker is one of my favorite characters. I think of one of the biggest things that makes him creepy is just how deranged he is. And another thing too is that like the Joker is human. He's not a monster. So like that kind of adds another layer of like fear, you know, like not necessarily like fear, but that I don't know how to describe it, that like thriller feeling, you know.
Mm.
It goes back to the beginning of this episode about how clowns are scary because of just how unpredictable they can be. And the Joker is honestly a great example of that. He's still the silly little unstable guy with a lot of kills under his belt. Moving on to the next clown, this rising star that I personally believe will go down in history as one of the greats in horror is Art the Clown from Terrifier.
Mm-hmm.
Art is becoming more and more popular, and for very good reason. Like the movie titles indicate, he's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Completely ruthless in killings, silly at times, but just downright evil in general. The whole Terrifier storyline had a bit of a rough start, but I think some of that was actually done on purpose. Art first appeared in a short film in 2008 called The Ninth Circle, then another short film written and directed by the same guy, Damien Leone. He's made all of the movies. Named Terrifier, which was released in 2011. Both shorts were incorporated into the 2013 anthology film called All Hallows Eve. Now, this is where I think they were kind of genius doing it the way they did. In All Hallows Eve, two kids and their babysitter, of course, found an unmarked VHS tape in one of their trick-or-treating bags. Being a horror movie, they obviously watched it all together immediately. The tape used footage from the two previous films from 2009 and 2011, which I think is kind of awesome as fuck. Like, I don't know, that's just such a cool way to do that.
It is. Because then it feels like when you watch the shorts, you're a part of what's happening in the movie.
Like, I love when movies do shit like that.
Yeah. It makes it feel more immersive.
hmm
Being more of the discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hmm Now, I obviously can't go into too many of the gruesome details of any of the films, but let's just say overall, his victims don't really survive. I've yet to see the first three films, but I have seen the 2016 and 2022 ones. Similar to Pennywise, it's believed he's some sort of demon, and similar to Jason and Michael Myers and other horror film greats, he's basically impossible to kill. Just when you think he might be dead at the end, boom, there's a teaser at the end of the movie, which hints at another one yet to come. If you haven't seen any of the movies, they are extremely gory and relentless. If you've got a weak stomach for stuff like that, I'd say think hard about watching any of them. But if you don't mind stuff like that, watch away.
They're pretty dope.
Yeah, they are. Now, we of course can't talk about creepy clowns without talking about the crazy clown sightings from 2016.
I was waiting for this.
The what now?
The crazy clown sightings from 2016 was started out as a marketing stunt in Green Bay, Wisconsin, for a horror film, turned into sort of a trend that started happening all over the world.
Is it officially confirmed that that's why it started? Because I'm not convinced.
I'm honestly not convinced either. Like even there were some things that like wouldn't say the film name.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I did find it. It's called Gags, but I haven't heard of that movie.
Me either. When I looked into it a few years ago, people online were saying it was to ramp up for the new It movie, but that movie didn't come out until like a year later, 2 years later, something like that.
Yeah, that's another thing I was seeing too. And I'm like, that still doesn't make sense. Like, then everyone would have been dressed as Pennywise,
Yeah,
like not just some fucking random clowns.
exactly.
Yeah, you guys sound quite offended.
I am offended
Like, how
because
dare you not give me the specific answer I was looking for? It has to be clear and concise.
I feel like, I mean, this is me putting my tinfoil hat on, but I feel like it wasn't for a movie.
Maybe it was aliens. They were like, "Fuck it, dude. People know
Maybe.
what clowns are. Let's spawn down." And then they're like, "Oh, apparently they just thought that movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space was pretty cool to fucking see on TV, not to actually happen. We're out. We're gonna go."
That'd be
That's why I
wild.
was that quick, dude.
Maybe. But I
That'd be
definitely, I don't
crazy.
know. I feel like there's something more to it than just for a movie. Especially, no offense to the movie, but a movie that not a lot of people have heard about, or a movie that came out a year later.
Hmm.
I don't think so.
For real though. But I don't know. I just definitely feel like it's something more than just it starting from one guy filming his one little movie and then it just blew up from there. But then again, you never know. Humans are fucking weird.
And that's fair.
But the whole thing blew up in social media and even news outlets. While it was mostly harmless, at least in the beginning, it was also extremely creepy. And
Mm.
it even resulted in at least one death that I could find.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. A 16-year-old boy was fatally stabbed in Pennsylvania. His name was Christian Torres, and he was wearing a clown mask perched on the top of his head. And the attacker, who's still unknown, which is extremely fucked up, was most likely paranoid. It was a situation of, it was either him or the clown.
Oh, so he killed somebody dressed as a clown?
Hmm.
That's just sad. So the
Hmm.
clown wasn't coming at him though, right? You said the guy just had the clown mask on his head.
Yeah, it was like sitting on top of his head. I don't know if he was just standing there or if he was following this person or anything like that. Because like there's not like too many details about it online, or at least not that I could find,
Yeah, that I don't know. That's crazy and sad.
right? There was another stabbing, this time in Sweden, but I'm not 100% sure if that person survived or not. It didn't really say. However, this time it was the person wearing the clown mask that did the stabbing. Again, with that one too, like I couldn't find like too many details like in depth about the whole situation online.
Mm-hmm.
On social media, there was a huge threat of a clown purge, which I do remember, set to happen on Halloween Eve. And while the actual huge purge didn't exactly happen nationwide, like everyone was scared of, one poor Floridian family was attacked by 20 asshats and clown masks.
Oh my gosh.
Right? No arrests were made, however, which I think is fucking crazy. And I think the family is okay, thank goodness. But again, there's like there's not that many details that I could find on it. It's like if you're gonna put this information out there, give me the whole deets, bro.
Right? But if I remember right, people weren't posting, especially news places, a whole bunch of information because they were so scared of people repeating stuff like that.
Mhm. That's super valid too. I hope that family is completely okay. It didn't say if any of them were harmed or anything like that. I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that they were just like attacking the outside of their house or something along those lines. But it didn't really say any of them were injured or worse or anything like that. So hopefully they're all okay.
Hopefully. That's terrifying. Could you imagine just being in your house and 20 clowns surround your house?
Right? Dude, fuck no. It was a mix of like clown masks and costumes, and also some of them were wearing purge masks to imitate the movies.
Stay the fuck out of my yard like that. Like that shit's dangerous.
Yeah,
For
and
real.
terrifying. I can't imagine the amount of fear that that would ignite in somebody. Holy cow.
Right? What started out as something so small and simple, for a movie named Gags, turned into this huge worldwide craze that had a lot of people on edge. A lot of people didn't take it too seriously though, and thought the whole thing was just kind of silly. And they look back on it and laugh. That really isn't the case for most though. Don't forget, actual people were harmed. Like the whole situation got so big, clown costume sales were completely halted in a lot of places. Officials in several areas put out warnings for people who might decide to go be creepy in clown costumes. And even McDonald's withdrew their beloved Ronald McDonald mascot and gave him a little bit of a lower profile during the whole thing. Circuses and other clown related businesses were also heavily affected. Even some people, mostly Floridians, went trick or treating armed. Like, that's so sad.
Yeah, no, I remember I was terrified. Like,
Mhm.
it was one of those things, kind of like the end of the world in 2012, where people were like, ha ha, yeah, no, that's not real. It's not gonna happen. But also, like, everybody was telling people, like, oh, I love you so much and shit like that a lot more that year. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just remember being like, oh, clowns, that's so funny. Like, that's not real. But it was scary. I was scared to do anything for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Ditto.
I definitely remember there being a ban. I think even the town we lived in, the mayor issued like a warning that nobody was allowed to dress up as a clown that year.
I think so. I'm not afraid of no clowns. Don't get it twisted. I'm not worried about them. But I was not playing that game. I didn't know what was going on either.
It was a very scary time.
I remember the time that it was happening. I was like in my shit poster era. So I would like share like a lot of jokes about it and stuff like at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, damn, this is funny and blah blah blah. But then like as more time started passing and like I think I saw a couple of videos where like clowns were trying to jump people or something like that, but the person got away.
Mm.
Which, it could have been fake videos also.
Yeah.
But also living out in the woods, and that's an area where a lot of them were supposed to pop up in.
Mm-hmm.
It started creeping me out after a while, and I was like, maybe I should stop shit posting this stuff, because that's kind of not cool.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend around this time that it was a Halloween night and he was walking home and he got attacked by some fucking clowns.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna bring that up.
he had a
Oh,
sword
jeez.
cane. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was a cane that he had for his fucking Halloween costume. And it like I mean people have seen him, but this shit was real, like an old ass antique. And he pulled it out and it's a fucking sword. So these clowns were fucking with him and trying to chase him and shit. And he said, "Fuck this!" And he pulled out his sword cane, drunk as shit, and started swinging it around.
Yeah.
Probably hurt himself more than anybody else. But yeah,
I'm glad he had a fucking sword on hand,
Right?
though.
Like it's a fun story to tell, but it was
Jesus.
terrifying. And that was the final like cementing it in for me that oh, like shit was happening. Something weird was going on. Because like you said, it started out with a few silly videos of like, oh, that's funny. Somebody dressed up as a clown and like scared somebody. And then it escalated so quickly.
Okay, now where was I? Oh, while clown costume sales started skyrocketing in some places, they were being completely banned and removed from others. Even Target completely took all of the clown shit off of like their website and stores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a quote unquote clown hunt at Pennsylvania State University and Michigan State University, where so many students searched for clowns on campus after supposed sightings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on for one of the schools, I think it was the Pennsylvania one, I saw a little video snippet of it, and it was literally just like hundreds of students running down this like cement way.
Hmm.
And like there was no clown in sight or anything, but they were just full on going on a clown hunt. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, respect. Like
Yeah.
that's such a bonding moment.
Like when they went to storm Area 51 and clapped some alien cheeks. Then
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly what it reminded me of. What could have honestly been one of the greatest, funniest worldwide pranks ever was sullied and ruined by a few tormented people that took it too far by actually harming people. But sadly, that's the way things go in this day and age, and my heart goes out to the people that it affected negatively.
Mine too.
Yeah.
From popular clown movies like It and Terrifier to lesser known ones I didn't cover, but might in the future, like Clown, Stitches, The Clown and Poltergeist, and many more, and also to real life clowns that all clown appearances owe thanks to, like Grimaldi. They are indeed very, very popular, and to many, very, very creepy.
Yes, yes, they are.
This episode was a lot of fun to do and research for. And again, I'm so, so sorry, Mom. As much as they creep me out, I love them. Just something about them, I don't know. They make horror fun in a way, and sometimes silly, like Pennywise's dance in the film, like the
Mhm.
newer films. Everyone knows exactly which dance I'm talking about. I remember the first time I saw it, I laughed my ass
Mhm.
off. Personally, I think Tim Curry's Pennywise creeps me out way more than Bill Skarsgård's does. Again, that's just my personal opinion, and I mean no disrespect for it. I think it's awesome, honestly, though, how both men were really able to like make the role their own in different ways.
Yeah.
One of the best arts of acting. But that's just about all I got on Creepy Clowns for this episode. Please let us know if you've ever had a creepy clown encounter personally.
Hopefully somebody tells us a pretty cool fucking story about them having some wicked clown adventures, some crazy clown adventures, back when everyone was dressing as clowns.
For real,
And
huh?
maybe they're like, hey, this one time me and a bunch of my friends dressed as clowns and chased your fucking friend, Cash. That was us. Tell me about it. Who are you? Who was,
No
dude?
judgment.
Who done it?
That's not true. We might judge you a little bit, but we'd still love to know. We'll read it anonymously.
Look, dude, I admitted to fucking dressing up that little doll on top of some beer and putting it on a porch. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So you guys can admit your bullshit too. Ugh.
But no, definitely. If you dressed as a clown and scared people, if you were scared by people dressed as a clown, if you've ever experienced an alien clown, tell us your story. We want to hear it.
Please, please, please do.
All right. Anything else?
Ooh, actually, I do. So I was browsing on TikTok and I saw this trend. People were saying, or just like talking about this trend, and then there were like some videos that were going against it, saying like, be careful what you say out loud because like you never know what you can attract or what will happen, which I honestly fully agree. And I was reading some comments, and some people were talking about how during scary movies, if there's ever any chanting, they'll mute the TV. And I honestly do the same thing because you honestly just never fucking know. There was this one time, me and our cousin Danny were watching a scary movie. It was a film called Incantation on Netflix. There's a lot of chanting in that movie. And like with every time like the chanting would start, like I'd mute it like normal. But then there was this one scene towards the end of the movie where it was just like nothing but this like screen with this like weird writing on it and the chanting for like a couple minutes straight. And I couldn't find the fucking remote. So I couldn't like mute it on time. And the chanting was going on for us like a while. I swear to fucking God, I'm not making this shit up. Danny's my witness. He can vouch for me. Danny saw a shadow. We started hearing thumping on the walls, and the lights flickered. And then, literally, as soon as that really creepy shit started happening, I almost immediately found the remote and I muted it as quick as I could, and then everything stopped,
Yeah, that's super creepy.
right? And like I had almost completely forgotten about it until those comments, and I was just like, yo, hold up, wait a second. I was like, I could tell that story on the cast too. But that's just so fucking creepy. If you ever watch that movie, anyone listening, or even you guys, don't lose the remote and mute it on time for the incantation part, because that shit is spooky.
Noted.
I like to listen to the chants.
That's valid, but do so at your own risk. But yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's super creepy. But you can find us on social media. We have a TikTok and an Instagram. Both are Anxious at Bedtime.
If you or somebody you know has been involved with clowns,
And you would like to have that story read on the pod, please email it to anxiousatbedtimepodcast@gmail.com.
and the world can be a scary place with clowns and ghosts, but we're probably fine.
We're probably fine.
We're probably fine.
Sleep tight. Don't be too anxious.